Hi everyone, I'm Jillian. I'm a learning advisor with Academic Skills. And in this short video, I'm going to talk to you about the first step in the essay writing process, which is find your argument. So let's dig into that. When you're given your essay writing task or question, the first thing you want to do is to spend some time really understanding that question. So you're very clear on what you're being asked to do, as well as then understanding the debate embedded within that task or question that you're being asked to weigh in on. So let's dig in a little bit deeper into this idea of the question. You want to take some time. That is one of the first steps. You want to take some time breaking down that question, making sure you're really clear on what it is you're being asked to do. And always be aware that you are required to take a position, and that's what you're looking for as you're trying to break down that question. What am I being asked to take a position on? You're not going to be asked to just describe something or explain something, even though that is a skill in and of itself. A more challenging skill is actually using that information that you've learned to support a point of view. And that's the expectation at university. So let's look at an example question, and I'll just read out this little preamble here to the question. In Victoria, Indigenous Australians who plead guilty to some offences can choose to be sentenced by the Koori Court rather than the Magistrates Court. The purpose of these Koori courts is to make the legal system less alienating and more culturally appropriate for Aboriginal communities. So our essay question is there a place for programs such as the Koori Court in the Australian legal system? Should there be courts for other groups in our society? So already we get a sense of this topic and a sense of the debate going on here, that this is about specialized courts for Aboriginal people, the idea of specialized courts within the Australian legal system. It sounds like some people are feeling like this is a fair thing to do within the wider Australian legal system, and maybe others are arguing that this is not fair to have specialized courts when justice should be blind. So we're just getting a sense of what we're being asked to weigh in on here, and thinking about the potential positions one could take in answer to this question. So this question is stated quite directly and straightforwardly: is there a place? And so we can already get the sense that we can answer yes, there is a place for programs such as the Koori Court in the Australian legal system, or no, there is not a place. Similarly, with the next question, should there be courts for other groups in our society? We can answer yes, this should be extended to other groups as well, or no, it should not be extended to other groups as well. So you've got to think about which position you're going to take if you were to be answering this question. So when you're thinking about the kinds of position you want to take, you do want to take a strong position. You want it to be really clear to your readers, to your marker, what position you're taking, and not have them guess about what it is what point of view you are trying to put forth. So a strong position takes a very clear stance. Yes, there is a place. No, there is not. Is backed by evidence and is well reasoned through the research and interpretation of that research that you'll be doing in the next couple stages. And as I said before, you're always arguing. Even if the language of your task says to discuss or describe, you're still trying to think about what is the debate you're being asked to weigh in on? What is the issue you're being asked to weigh in on as well? Or what is the problem you're being asked to solve? Okay. Zooming out again, let's get into research strategies. So this is a complicated step, and we have many other resources to cover this as well. But for now, I will just recommend that you read with a purpose. So instead of reading all about the Australian legal system, you really want to skim for that evidence that supports the different sides of the debate, whether it's who is for the Koori Court existing within the Australian legal system, or some legal scholars or sociologists who may be arguing the opposite and saying there isn't a place for these courts. And finally, as you're doing this research, you may want to think about how you're going to begin to categorize and focus this research. And one suggestion that we have is mind mapping. So you might want to do something similar where you're just thinking about the Corey Court and if it's worthwhile or not, and then having these various reasons laid out here in support of the Corey Court, as well as these other reasons that are kind of against the idea of the Corey Court existing within the wider Australian legal system. So this is just an example of a way to keep track of those reasons, keep track of the debate that you're learning about as you begin to do your research. Okay, zooming out once again, that was just the first step in the essay writing process, and the further videos will go through the remaining steps.